Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan. I'm joined by my big bro, the coach. We got something special for you today. You know, many podcasts, they will give you something to take away. You know, some will make you laugh. Some will make you learn something for the kitchen. Some will help you focus on your fitness. Some will help you make money and learn how to invest and all that kind of stuff. What the Sports Reverends do, we offer something far greater, far more important than any of that stuff. We actually have the solution to all of your troubles. Think about that for a moment. This obviously sounds way too good to be true. Might even sound like a gimmick. But the reality is we really do have a source for you that will change your life, a solution for you that will really solve everything. You know, we're passionate about a few things in life. One of those things are sports. We're even more passionate about our faith in Christ. And watching and playing sports has always been a huge part of our lives. And it has played an incredible role in helping us grow and live out our faith. So this show where we is where we share our experiences of the challenges of life and show how sports and faith have been a driving force to not only for us to overcome, but to succeed. My name's Dan, pastor downtown Toronto, chaplain for Toronto Fire, joined with my brother who's been a longtime coach on the basketball court, also a coach in the stock market, and also a longtime Christ follower. So hope you're ready for some hot sports takes and our unapologetic faith. Coach, why don't you give the Sports Rev fam the rundown of the show today?
All right, so today we're going to start off with, as always, our quick hitters. We're going to talk a little bit of basketball, a lot of football, and then we're going to also talk about what to do when you're facing adversity and how do you face adversity, which is something we all face. We have a special guest announcement, and we have a debt being paid finally. So let's get rolling here and with our quick hitters.
To show out, and he'll teach them lessons on the court and off the court.
Awesome. All right, take care of some business. Always a good time. Urban Hope. Make sure you check it out. Yeah, let's start off with a bit of basketball here. Our good friend DeMar DeRozan, who is now playing for the Sacramento Kings, and I guess he's going on a book tour. He wrote a book, which is great. Brings a lot of highlights to the mental health community. He kind of got me with something here. And I definitely would tell him to his face that he's wrong. Oh. He said that if the Raptors had stayed the course in 2019, that they would have won the chip regardless. So I'm going to give you the first take on this, and I'd like to hear what you got to say.
No, I love DeMar. I love that he loved Toronto. He was beloved by Toronto when he got traded. It was like a yucky feeling, but for the real Toronto fans, we knew that it was something special. But like you said, he is totally offbeat with this. There's no chance. The Kawhi Leonard run with the Toronto Raptors championship was one of the greatest of all time. Yep. And I love Debo. I love that he's got a passion to help others and very sensitive guy that way. But yeah, he's dead wrong, Debo. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You were we love sacrifice in the Christian faith, but you were the ultimate sacrifice for the Raptors, right? That's what it is. It's the fact. And we love you for it.
Yeah. DeMar DeRozan had peaked, and he hasn't really gotten any better. He's still putting great numbers, but he doesn't bring to you what the Raptors needed. They needed spacing, they needed a closer, and they needed a guy who could get it done defensively. And Kawhi checks all those boxes in an amazing way. The backhand steal that he had on that bounce pass was incredible. No one else is making that steal. Maybe Wemby might. But him just reaching out, clawing the ball and going, unbelievable. Like you said, Kawhi's run, historic, unprecedented, and I like the confidence. But there's no chance. There's literally no chance this would go any further. So
what do you think,
I was probably one of the few.
What do you think of DeMar on Sacramento joining De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis? You think they make a run?
No, they don't make a run. They don't make a run. The West is really competitive.
Wow.
But DeMar DeRozan, also, the problem with DeMar DeRozan, the fit, is that Fox isn't the best 3-point shooter. He's a decent 3-point shooter. Sabonis doesn't take a ton of threes. And DeMar operates mainly in the mid-range. Who also operates in there? The Fox-Sabonis pick and roll. It's going to be tricky to find spacing. We know DeMar's not the biggest volume 3-point shooter. We also know Fox is unlikely to change his game, and you don't want him to change his game. You need that frenetic pace, so it's going to be interesting. I will say that Sacramento will have a great closer in DeMar, and that, 2 minutes left in the game, that's a big get. He'll get you a bucket. He'll get to the free throw line, and he's consistent. But through an 82-game season, they'll have a good record. Come playoff time, when the defense is shut down, going to be tougher. That's my take.
Do you think play-in or top 6 in the West?
Play-in for sure. Play-in for sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I'm with you on that play-in level too. I won't. I love DeMar, but man, that West is tough. That's tough.
We'll have to run down the teams in a couple weeks before the season starts. Yeah. Let's flip over to the main game of the last couple weeks. NFL's back. People are excited to watch. They may not be so happy with their turnouts in their fantasy. And the teams have unexpected records. I know for my fantasy team, I took a nap, forgot to pull 2 guys out, and I lost by 10 points. So I easily could have won this week. So that's on me. Let's talk about Niners and Vikings.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
They even have a function called auto sub now, okay? It will sub out your guys if they're hurt last minute. Set it up. Come on, man.
I know. Rookie mistake.
I can't say anything. I put my best lineup in. I lost.
Yeah, just like the Cowboys. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. 49ers lost to the Vikings in a very uncharacteristic 49ers game. Low scoring. They didn't look great. But they came back to make it out of something. I think they're really missing CMC. What are your thoughts?
It's the week 2 of NFL upsets. Yeah, 49ers, clearly the better team, clearly should have won that game. I think they really did play overall in a controlling manner, but they couldn't finish drives. They made really bad mistakes, and they left the door open for the Vikings. And the Vikings not only took advantage of it, but they just won it.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be a 6-point underdog, and they not only covered, but they won. So good for them.
They won. Yeah. Good for them.
2-0 Vikings. Wow. Sam Darnold.
Who's quarterbacking this team?
Sam Darnold.
Where did he come from?
Going on? I don't know, man. Historically terrible. This year is having a career year. Good for them.
What year are we in? Lions lost to the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield is making a comeback tour, baby. Comeback tour. What did you first think when you watched this game?
Hats off to Baker Mayfield. This was another game the Lions really did control. They should have won this game. But Baker, man, he not only did it with his arm, but the couple of his runs that he had down the field, he had probably the best juke out of all of week 2. Might have been all season. It was pretty incredible. It showed off his athleticism. Clutch. And Jared Goff, he kind of looked like the old Jared Goff last game. It looked ugly. And wow, I'm a little shocked with the Lions there. Another big upset to me.
For sure. I think you're seeing a lot of poise coming out of Baker Mayfield right now.
Big time.
And if you're the Browns, you are not happy. That's all we can say about that. Man, this is a place we haven't seen the Ravens in a long time. Down 0-2. I think Lamar Jackson's first time being down 0-2. And losing to the Raiders of all teams. When you watched the game, what were your first initial thoughts here? What do you think?
They go to Zay Flowers in the first half constantly. Yep. They produce points, and then they seem to disappear from that. They change the game plan. I don't know what their kind of offensive game plan is in the second half, but it's not working. And there's too much pressure, I think, or too much being put on Lamar, I think. He's got to run the offense, but he cannot be the lead running back. He cannot be the lead. They can't lead everything. He's got to be able to delegate some. And I think that's also partly on coach. to help them with that area.
This is a weird question for you, but do you think Harbaugh was overrated?
No, I'm not there
Okay.
yet. I still think he's really solid. I think their defense is solid. I know it is the NFL. That's the beauty of this league. Anyone can really lose each week, and
there's a lot of parity.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's such a difficult league. So I still like Harbaugh a lot. Yeah, I think he's great.
Okay, fair. This one hurts a little bit, but your Dallas Cowboys got crushed by the Saints, 44-19.
Horrible, just horrible.
Insane.
In this week of blowouts, right? This week of upsets is what I'm trying to say. Is you see teams that are good, they at least lose in a proper manner, in a good way. The Cowboys looked terrible. They weren't ready. They weren't prepared. They weren't able to change on the fly. Like Alvin Kamara looked like 5 years ago. Kamara
he rolled back.
4 touchdowns, it's just unbelievable how poor their defense was. And Dak Prescott, even the first half offensively they were okay, but then second half they couldn't produce at all. It was just what is going on? They were not prepared. They looked like they were out having a good time on Saturday night and were not prepared for Sunday.
And it's weird because at least the one thing that's going to be consistent with the Cowboys is their defense. The defense is going to come through. The offense has always been hit or miss, Dak, whatever, yeah. But they just completely went to sleep for the whole game. And you got to wonder what the leadership of that team is doing to drive things internally, right? So
how hot are the Saints, though? They went, I think, the first 16 possessions since week 1. They went scoring. I think it was 16 in a row. Unbelievable. Derek
Carr is finally healthy.
What is happening? Derek Carr and their coach are historically bottom of the league, and not only percentages for winning, but also for covering the spread. Everything there. This was all set up for the Cowboys to win, and the Saints blew them out. It was unbelievable.
So you got Gardner Minshew, you got Carr, you got Sam Darnold. What year are we in, guys? What year are we in? Now, this was a crazy ending for a Monday nighter or the Sunday night game. Eagles.
No, Monday night. Yeah. Yes,
Monday night. Yeah. Eagles are there. Saquon just got to catch the ball and game over. Drops it. And,
for me, it's bigger Sirianni. Why are they not running the ball? Why they? If they run the ball, that's 40 seconds less for Captain Kirk to come back and throw a tutty. They run the ball. They were averaging 4.5 yards a carry. They had 3 yards to go. So even if they got 3 yards or 3.5, they have been perfect with the tush push that game. They would have easily. If you want to be aggressive, I'm all for being aggressive. I love that. I love the play calls. Go do the tush push on the fourth and then on 4th and 1 or 4th and less than 1 and get your win that
push
way.
It through. Yeah.
Why throw the ball?
Totally agree.
First possession of the game, they're also in the 10-yard line and they decide to go for it on 4th down. First possession of the game. Why not take the points? I don't understand. Where's the logic in that?
Those are some of the questions that we won't have good answers to. But on the flip side, it helps your Cowboys because they took a L too. So that's
saving grace. Saving grace. But also their defensive coordinator. What was he doing on that Captain Kirk? Such a great moment for Kirk Cousins. Such a narrative changing moment for their season. Right? It was looking bad. He had kind of rough. One good drive in the middle of the game, and it was 3 awesome throws, and they got a touchdown. But that final drive, no one really believed Kirk Cousins in primetime. We know the narrative. He's a bum. Not last night. Last night he showed out. Woo! And the defense was just sitting back, and they were running routes, and the Darius Slay gotten turned around in the end zone was amazing. London just shook him. Embarrassing on the Eagles' way to lose there. So,
only thing I have to say about that game, aside from what you talked about, give Pitts the ball. Can we please just give Pitts the ball? He's on my fantasy roster. I need to get some points. He had less than 4. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Find him.
Cannot find him. All right, that's all the major wins and losses for the week. I'm going to run through some of the games here for next week. You're going to tell me winner or loser. Got it?
Okay.
All right. Thursday nighter. Ooh, tasty matchup. New England versus the Jets. Who wins?
Oof.
They're in New Jersey.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers taking down the Patriots in a close one by a field goal. They'll win 24-21.
I like it.
21-18 or something like that.
21-18, something like the 3-point differential. All right.
Yeah.
Houston and Minnesota. They are playing in Minneapolis.
CJ Stroud is going to put the end to the 2-0 Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Their offense is too strong. I don't think they'll be able to keep up.
We'll see. It's either going to be a blowout for Houston or a drag them out win, I think, for Minnesota. If they can slow the tempo down, could help them out big time. This is a big game. Philly and New Orleans. They're playing in New Orleans. Who do you got?
The Saints team is on absolute fire right now. Their defense is looking great. They got veterans on each on the line, on the linebackers, and in the secondary. I think the Saints make the Eagles go 1-2. Saints win 3-0.
Okay, all right.
I like it. You heard it here. For the Saints for the season, but I can save that.
Save that for later. Heard it here first. Saints over Eagles. Let's go to a big one. Baltimore, Dallas in Arlington.
Don't make me predict this. My prediction is not what my heart says.
You're Sports Reverend, not amateur hour. What is your official professional
I don't think the Ravens go 0-3 to start the year, but I believe in my Cowboys, and I'm not going to say anything else. I think Cowboys win.
Cowboys win. Fair? Okay. I'll take the reverse of that. I'll take Baltimore wins, and your Cowboys are going to lose. Let's go. The Sunday nighter is Kansas versus Atlanta in Atlanta. Thoughts?
Yeah, I feel sorry for the week of the Falcons because that's the last week they're not gonna enjoy week 4 preparation because they're losing. They're losing to the Chiefs. They're on fire. Yeah, they're gonna handle them.
The Monday nighters are not great. We've got Jacksonville versus Buffalo and Washington versus Cincinnati. Give me your Washington-Cincinnati take.
Yeah, I think Washington's really bad. They got lucky last week, even against the Giants. I think the Giants should have won that game. If they had their place kicker, they probably would have won that game. So Cincinnati rolls them. Joe Burrow throws for 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 100-plus yards and a TD. Finally, a breakout. That's my prediction for that.
Okay. Does T. Higgins come back this week, or is that still weeks away?
Not sure.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, that's our NFL talk for today. You heard the picks. Let's see how we do. And now it's time to do a little extra business. If you're looking for a way to earn a return on your money, learn more about investing, and trying to find a way to retire, check us out at www.train2invest.com. So that's train2invest.com, and download our free ebook. The myth out there is you take your hard-earned capital, you give it to your money guy and your financial planner, and he'll take care of it for you. However, no one's going to take care of your money like you will. If you're looking to find another source of income, if you're looking to retire with a plan in place, check us out, download the ebook, give it a read, and contact us. We'd love to have a conversation and see if what we do fits for you. It's a training course program where you get taught how to trade in the market. There's no middlemen. It's all up on you, and you get the life skills to do that and to be successful. So if you're looking for something different, if you're tired of seeing your quarterly statements being a couple percent, check us out. www.train2invest.com. All right, business taken care of for the day. Now, actually, my favorite part of the pod is the quote unquote what we call real talk. And
Coach,
I think
I'll sprinkle this in before our real talk starts because for next week we got a special guest announcement that's joining us for our real talk. It's a pretty legendary person. At the end of our show today, we'll give the reveal, but special guest announcement for next week. Real talk going to join us for our favorite section of the show. Sorry, continue on.
All good. And friend of the program, so great guy, and we'll go from there. So here's the question for our real talk. and it's something that I think we all face in our sports backgrounds, in our life today. What do you do when you face adversity? That's a pretty big question. I mean, people are thinking about their finances, they're thinking about inflation, their jobs, and not many people are getting the raises they want. So stuff's difficult. I'll let you go first on this piece. We talk about sports and athletes. There's so many examples of teams and players that either thrive under pressure, love it, or they just faint. They wilt. Let's start with you personally. How do you react, when you're under pressure, you're playing some hoops, you're down 3, or life? How do you feel?
I had a really good coach growing up that helped me understand how to handle the pressure. And that's part of being a point guard. That's talking about the coach over there, whichever way he is going to be. He not only makes you learn under pressure, but be able to handle and function under pressure. Part of that is being able to not get tired, right? That's why the training aspect was so big for me. Being able to run and having that motor, that's why what I love about someone like Pascal Siakam, he has that motor that just keeps going. And that was kind of a passion of mine when I was playing, to, not get tired and be able to run. That helps you be able to think and process as fast as you can under pressure. Another part is just being able to know what the game plan is. When you know the game plan and when you study the game plan, you have it kind of drilled into your into your mind without having to think about it and be burdened by it. So that was another thing too, just preparing, and it's kind of like that boring work that you have to do. It's the fill in the charts, the data analysis. You got to keep doing it, and every time you do it, you're getting a little bit better each time, and you'll see the long-term growth down the way. And that's kind of how you learn and deal with it and grow. That's a sports ways. Yeah,
absolutely. Preparation is key. So thank you for my flowers. I'll send you a check in the mail. Don't worry, that's coming. And I think personally for me too, I didn't learn to be a point guard. I didn't start off as a point guard. I learned it as I grew up, and you have to learn how to read people, and it's also taking risks and making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. I think a lot of time in our life, especially when we play sports or making decisions, we expect things to be perfect, and even though we hold ourselves to high standards, the ball's not always going to bounce your way. You are going to lose games. You are going to make mistakes. You make the wrong read. And it's about how do you come back from that? And, while you say, I helped you drive that, one of the people I would think about it is, people are going to think my dad. I'm going to say my mom. My mom's really drove home that you don't give up and you keep trying. I remember, I think I was probably grade 5 or 6, she would come outside in the summertime and she would shoot shots off the basketball hoop, and she'd miss on purpose. And that's how I learned to rebound. That's how I learned to read the ball, see how the things, I'm not saying Dennis Rodman here. I'm not going to claim that whatsoever. But you learn how the ball spins, you see how different things happen. And she spent time with me. And that's, something that I'll always cherish because this is our time together, but it also helped me learn to be a better basketball player. So I think preparation is, you see that in athletes today. You can see that the gulf between good player and a great player, there is some of that physical capability for sure, but it's that preparation, right? I think, we all watched the Jordan documentary. We've seen all the stories come out of how Kobe prepared, right? Sidney Crosby, same thing. They all are, massive into training, into the regimen, taking care of the bodies, and doing the same thing over and over and over again until it's perfected. So as a Christian, when we deal with adversity, there's two different trains of thought, I would say. There's I'm going to follow the Bible and potentially be counterculture, or I'm going to lean into the human side of things, right, and try and do things on my own. What do you think about, how as Christians we should deal with adversity?
Yeah, I think we learn so much from playing sports that help us out in our faith journey, right? The counterculture, the pressure. If there was a group of friends of mine and they wanted to do some stuff that, wasn't going to be very God honoring, I've never really felt that pressure to just bend and break. There was the decisions where I definitely did bend and break, but it's not because of the pressure of my friends. That was my own selfish desire. The pressure to bend and break. I know many people feel that, but when I think because of my, my foundation in my faith and the skills that I learned from the court, from the field and all that kind of stuff, that has helped me to withstand it. And because I know that, the pressure is not going to get to me. If I'm going to make a mistake, it's going to be my mistake. I'm going to own that mistake. I'm not going to let other people dictate the pace of play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's how it is. Like the lessons I've learned has helped me to withstand that stuff. And obviously it all is because of the foundation of where my faith is, right? It's got to be strong. It's got to be a true belief. It's got to be something I'm passionate about, right? It's just like your studies. I was never passionate about studies. That's why I never was putting all my effort into it. But when it came to sports, I was passionate about it. I gave it my absolute all. So the same thing can be applied to your faith. When you really believe, when you know the hope, when you feel the peace, you go all in for it. You're going to do everything you can to grow in that area. You're going to do everything you can to excel. And in the faith portion of it too, you're going to also share it with others as well. And that's part of walking as a Christ follower.
Yeah, I think that you hit on a really good point there. It's about being passionate, it's about understanding. And you may not like this example, but I'll use it anyway. When you first said, "Oh, I'm going to go to Bible school. I'm going to go this, and this," I was happy for you, but in my head, I was like, "Really, really? Okay, fair." He feels the will of God. Sure, I'm going to support him, but I was skeptical. And when you came back and it was like, "Oh, I'm getting A's in this. I'm getting good grades in this. I'm really passionate about this," it was like, okay. That for me was like, this kid never studied before. All he studied was basketball. Now he's studying his Bible. He's like learning all this stuff in like Greek and Hebrew, and he's doing well. That to me was like, God knows what he's doing. I can't be thinking any two ways about it. But it's, you took your faith, you applied it, and there was the result. Right? And I think that's what I know for me in my life, whenever I go through adversity, like going through my divorce was a huge problem. And, it still impacts me today. And whenever I feel down, like, I'll be completely honest, today, this morning, I woke up with such a heavy heart, and I don't even know why. It's not a special anniversary date. It's nothing. It's just, I felt, really heavy this morning. And I texted my mom. My mom actually randomly texted me out of nowhere. She's like, "Hey, how are you doing today? Hope you're feeling all right." And I said, you know what? Usually I just, push it off and just say, "I'm fine." But I said, "Hey, Mom, I just need you to pray for me real quick. I'm just feeling heavy. Don't know why." So she sent me this prayer over text, and we read it, and then I prayed it, and I just gave it to God, because I knew that in the past I would have tried to deal with it on my own, overthink things, try and use my human capabilities to deal with it. But I said, you know what? I'm a Christian. I'm a Christ follower. I'm going to give it to God. So I prayed it, took a deep breath, and went on with my day. Within the afternoon, I was feeling better. Even though I still was dealing with a bunch of issues and a bunch of stuff that I didn't want to deal with, I didn't feel like I was being dragged down. I was being lifted up by God. I was given energy. I was given happiness, given joy, and I just went with it. I'm like, it's going to be okay because God's on my side. And one thing that we have to always look back is, whatever you're going through now, God has already helped you in the past. It's that track record of him always being there that you can rely on. I'm not perfect. Reverend Daniel's not perfect. Your parents aren't perfect. Your friends, your spouse, no one's perfect. But God is. He will never leave you, never forsake you. He's always there for you. And when you're going through a difficult time, like whatever the case may be, is knowing that you have this track record of big and little things, and knowing that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, sets you up for success, right? And that's what's going to help you in your faith journey, in your life journey, survive being persecuted. And you may not feel like you're persecuted in a people, in a sense, like your friends at work. They may tease you about your Christianity, or they may not say anything, but it's a fight in the spiritual realm, and there's going to be attacks, and God's always there for you.
Yeah, and the next time that a challenge or trial or storm comes your way, it's going to be even easier, even if the trial is bigger or the challenge is bigger, because you know that, God's already brought me through this, and there's a reason for it, and there's a proof from my history that he will bring me through it again. And there's going to be an opportunity. I really believe this, that the trials and challenges you go through, it's an opportunity for you to one day walk with someone who's gone through something similar. And it's kind of the model of our mentorship program that we try to teach our students. We want to build them up so that they have the skills and they have the ability to help out the future generation as well, because those kids, they've gone through so much, they've gone through such storms, they're going to weather it through relying on God, and then they're going to show the next generation the same thing. And that's something we can apply to our lives as adults and as people growing in their faith and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think if you look at the Chiefs kicker Butker, he came out, said his piece, and the mainstream media tried to crucify him for it.
Big time,
right? But all of his jerseys sold out. He got a new contract, and he's playing professional football. His life didn't end. Yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't feel great getting all that negative press and negative feedback, but he stuck with it. And he persevered. Do you have a verse or set of verses for us for today that could help encourage us and drive this point home for us, that the listeners out there can look up and kind of highlight in their Bible, whether it's a virtual Bible or not, and come back to you day after day?
Definitely, and I'll link it in the YouTube awesome. Description as well. It's James 1 verses 2-4. It says this.
There you go.
Yeah, it's really good. That's a passage I try to hold on to all the time. We need to persevere in so many different ways. And you brought up Harrison Butker, and I love that he stood strong and stood up for what he believes in. But even if things went south for him, even if he got canceled out, I still don't think he would change his message. I think
Agreed.
when you know the grace and peace and hope that God has given you, he gave Harrison Butker that platform. Right, that platform of where he's using it, and he became the highest paid kicker of all time. Right,
yeah,
he's honored for that, and I still think he would still do the same thing. And it's a challenge to be able to have that kind of faith, but that's what we try to do together on your Christian journeys. Right, you try to do it with your church family, and this is the reason for this show, is to try to give you and point you to the solutions and the sources that will solve all your problems. I really believe in that, and I think that's something important for you to take away.
We might have to go at Harrison Butker and on our socials and try and get him on here one time. I think that'd be
really
cool.
Be awesome for sure.
Really cool. I think just before we move on, I think something that really sticks out to me from this verse is in verse 4. It's let perseverance finish its work. And you may be going through something difficult, but it's a season. It's not forever. It's not the rest of your life. God is putting you through something, or God is helping you through something for a reason. There's an end goal for this. And like you said, it could be helping somebody else, walking it through that. It could be putting you onto a path of the next stage of your journey. So don't despair. Be joyful. God is with you. That's all I got to say about that.
I think it's time for the great announcement.
Yeah, let's hear. I'll give you the honors. I wish we had a drum roll macro, but that's okay.
Maybe I'll add one in. We
post-production
have a big time legendary guest joining us next week. He's going to jump on for the Real Talk portion. He is a reverend. He is big time into sports. He is the commissioner of one of my fantasy football leagues, and his name is Kevin Jansen. Rev Kev, I know him as the commish. He's going to be joining us next week. Mark it on your calendars. Spread the word. He's going to join us for our Real Talk portion, and he's got some burning things that he's got to get off his chest. And a lot of it is going to encourage you, inspire you, challenge you. It's going to be a blessing. So Kevin Jansen, if you don't know who that is, type it in on Google. It'll pop up everywhere about what he does and who he is. He's one of the big time reverends in all of Canada. That's right. And he'll be joining us via the internet, Zooming. I don't know how they do that.
Over here. All right. Kevin, welcome. We're ready for you. And now, everybody, what I've been waiting for a long time, debt being paid. Debt being paid.
Walk us through what happened.
Honestly, I don't even remember. I can't remember.
All right.
All I know is that you lost. All I know is that you lost. And I was so excited, and it didn't happen.
So it was March Madness. I'm a man of my word. I wanted to make sure this happens. It was March Madness. And we made a friendly wager about which of our teams. Say what?
A brotherly wager.
A brotherly wager of which of our favorite college basketball teams would make it further in the March Madness tournament. I am a fan of the, God's team, the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Coach loves the Duke Blue Devils, and I'm not making that bet for him this year because they got some big names on that team. Cooper Flagg, that big old guy, 7-footer.
Yeah.
So I lost the bet. The Duke Blue Devils made it one round further, and the friendly bet was having to smell sniffing salts. Now, if you haven't looked up what sniffing salts are, smelling salts, basically they are used to awake the mind and wake you up, and also they're supposed to make it's for working out or even pregame before your football game or basketball game. It's supposed to loosen up your muscles and all that kind of stuff, but it's something you work your way up to. I don't think you're just supposed to open up the cap and take a big old sniff, but that's what I'm going to do. That was what was trending back in March, of people sniffing smelling salts for the first time.
Right.
I'm a little bit scared, so get the phone ready in case I have a heart attack or something. This is what I'm sniffing here. Ward smelling salts, bottled insanity. It's called ammonia inhalant. So I'm a man of my word. I want to be a good leader that way, and I promise to own up to this. And I'm gonna do this right now. All right, you ready?
Before Coach? You do it though, do you have to write a sermon? Are you gonna go work out after? What's your plan to do with all this energy that's gonna come through with you right now?
I don't know if it's gonna be I can smell it. I have it right here. I can smell it from here. This is crazy. I don't think this might knock me out for a little bit.
I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy, groups. I'm so happy. All right,
honoring my word. Go. To you, Coach. Congratulations on the win. Here we go.
3. You count you down?
Yeah, count me down.
Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
That's going to be a clip.
Crazy.
Oh,
that's actually crazy. I tried to do a bigger sniff, but it stopped me halfway through. That's actually crazy. Wow.
Coach, that's awesome.
End the show.
Yeah. Make sure you like us on all our socials: Facebook, X, Instagram, chat, whatever you like. Check us out on YouTube. Share with your friends and family. Once this clip gets posted, please blow it up. This is one of the happiest days of my life. I love it. I love it. Love it. We'll see you next week with special guest Kevin Jansen. Thanks for joining us, guys. Peace.
Peace out.
Can you see where to click?